Alright, so I have a whiteboard which is huge and which is amazing. I love it absolutely. This is my beautiful whiteboard. I'm not gonna be able to move closer because this thing is connected directly uh, to like a dock station there. And I just cannot move it. The built-in microphone doesn't work for Linux. I mean, it does, but I need to recompile Linux kernel manually. I need to like apply patches and rebuild it in each update. I'm just not doing this. This is simpler. Uh, as a bonus, I look like a streamer. So this is a whiteboard, and it is amazing. It helps think through unstructured ideas where you have no idea kind of how to structure, how to think about the problem, and it helps just think through it step by step, like connect visually. When you know how to approach a problem or like a coding uh, or anywhere else, this is not yet like you can just not date it. You know the structure, so you can kind of reasonably well use paper and just keep the architecture and structure of the links in mind. Um, but in the things which you're approaching for the first time, I have found it to be incredibly helpful. Now, the problem with the whiteboard is that it's physical. So I cannot use my keyboard to type text, which I've been missing so much. Like I write, I don't know, 20 words per minute by hand, and it's 6 times less, probably even like a bit less. I don't know. And it's 6 times. No, at this point, it's 7 times less than my typing speed. So it's been excruciating. And then on top of that, I cannot save state. So for example, right there, I don't know if it's visible. Maybe not. Maybe yes. Okay, there we go. So I have what I have. I have um, here it's a thing about tracking voids. It goes like here, it's there, and it goes up there. This part is about tracking voids. Now here it's me. Here it's the fonts. I want to make a font for like better testing, because currently I'm just using like 8 different characters. Which like this is the entirety of snapshot testing, because snapshot, I think I've already gone into why it's important at some point, but snapshot tests are amazing. You basically precompile and it's visual. It's very simple to see what the test does exactly, and you're not comparing the output in its raw format. You can compile it to a string, to a visual presentation, and compare against the visual presentation, and it becomes much shorter, so you can actually compare more in one test, and it's so much easier to just visually process, and it's easier to and the code is more often read than written, so this is a huge thing in practice. So I will make a font for with like instead of 8 different characters that you can use for representation of just height. I will make a font with 50, how much, 50 1000 characters. This is only for candles. I will also make one for like doesn't matter. I will get this. I still haven't for all the particularities, and this is kind of partly what I'm using this for, because I had no idea how to approach this, so I just started throwing ideas at it and just seeing what sticks, right? And some stuck, some are great, some are already there, and I want to. Now the problem is that I kind of want to preserve them, and right now it means just leaving them there, like leaving them corner, maybe deleting some things around which are not that important, and the next thing just goes around it, and this is extremely awkward, extremely clunky, especially for things which are expected to take more time. For example, this part of the this part of the drawing board, this thing, it's me trying to figure out the prediction function for uh, individual actions which I'm recording with like I have utilities which record my activity on monitor, and then after that I also connect the open recall thing, and then I want to be able to predict based on the actions I'm doing in the moment, and the actions I've done so far, like from the beginning today, the expected value of this day. So I'm daily just counting. It's a great habit, by the way. Counting the expected value of the day against the next 20 years, how much difference, how much what effect the day is likely to have, and then just count it 20 to 25. So this is a great metric, especially because I'm reasonably constant with how I'm assigning this. So it's easy to compare this against each other and see the things which are working, which not, and what can be optimized. And yes, obviously you can just like look at it just with your memory, the head, but you don't have the control over each single particular detail, because with this, with having this struct and having individual action struct, I can control all of it just up to a T. And I want to be able to predict the expected value of a day based on things I'm doing right now. Have like early warning system. Say I'm starting to do something less important, focusing on some implementation detail, maybe the same, making a font for for having a test instead of doing the main thing I must be working at the moment, because this is like much less important, and that still makes sense to do, but more like in the evening after I've spent enough time working on the main thing, making like actual progress in the moment, improving the environment, right? That would make sense. But starting the day with this makes no sense, and I often do, and this is difficult to kind of just catch, especially by myself, because I do not see any trigger, I don't see any indication, immediate indication on what I'm doing might be wrong. But it is possible to write a system which would be able to detect immediately when this happens that the predicted daily value just dropped by a huge amount, and then some kind of notification. I think at this unit only had maybe something less drastic, I don't know, but some like way to just bring my attention to it and switch to some activity that would just maximize daily, because that's what I'm doing at the end, right? I'm fixing all the parameters which I know must be fixed, and the rest I can just iterate on, because I know where I need to go, and I just need to connect as much data on where I'm right now and what's the function is from the input to the output. That brings me closer there. That's it. And kind of output I mentioned in the V. So I just need to maximize the V. That's literally the problem statement right now. So this will be extremely valuable, but it will take a lot of time. And right now I do not have it. I have a system which I must push immediately, and it just would not make sense to put more effort into improving the environment right now. And this is part of the improving the environment, part of kind of secondary optimizations, which are incredibly important long term. But right now, I must put in reasonable amount of work, because I spent all the time optimizing my environment, and it just wouldn't make sense to continue spending the same proportion of the time on it. So this is expected. Like, if I want to keep it, this will stay here for months, and it's like half the board. It just doesn't make sense. And this also, I cannot do it immediately, and so I have like very little space for the things that I need at the moment. So one option is, I think there's some markers to like draw new walls maybe, but this is also kind of awkward, and it's all around, and you kind of draw around the thing, and you cannot extend it, and there are no backups. You can delete things, but then decide you want them back and no go. So instead of all this, I just will buy a drawing pad. I think I've spent 8 minutes trying to get to it, but I'll just get like a drawing pad, small, maybe big drawing pad. I still haven't decided. Yeah, I'll guess I'll report how it goes later. That's a way to spend 8 minutes. So drawing pads, I think you just will allow to do literally the same thing, but in a way that is savable, and that's it. That's the whole point. I will I will see it more.